Welcome back. We have new information just into CNN about the Guatemalan migrant girl who died in U.S. Border Patrol custody last weekend. Despite the outrage following the 7-year-old's death, the Guatemalan consul now tells CNN her father has no complaints with how U.S. agents treated them. Jacqueline Caal Maquin and her dad were detained in a remote part of New Mexico on December 6th. She got sick just after they were picked up by U.S. agents, some 90 minutes from the nearest processing station. Now, Maquin died less than 48 hours later. Critics are blaming the Trump administration's broader border policies, saying they've led to more dangerous crossings in isolated areas. CNN's Ed Lavandera just spoke with the Guatemalan consul, who had an extensive meeting with the grieving father. And Ed, what have you learned?
Well, we were able to kind of piece together some new details and new reaction here, and for the perspective of the father of this young girl, who we haven't had a chance to hear from since this story first broke. So this is the latest information we have. This is according to the Guatemalan consul, who met with the father last night here in the city of El Paso, and also with officials here from the Annunciation House, which is a shelter that helps these migrants and refugees who end up here in El Paso. And they read a statement from this father's attorneys. And in that statement, it talks about how the father is grateful for the many first responders that tried to save his daughter's life. The Guatemalan consul also tells us that, as you mentioned, Anna, that this father has no complaints, that he feels that everything was done by these agents who were in that bus, on that bus ride from the border port of entry to the border station, that everything was, he felt like everything was done that was possible to save his daughter's life. The only part of the trip that father was not alongside his daughter, we're told, is when she was airlifted from that remote part of New Mexico and flown here to El Paso to the hospital for treatment. So no real questions coming from this father about what kind of aid was provided. And in fact, on the contrary, the father felt like the agents there in that bus did everything they could to help the young girl. This is a little bit more from the statement that Ruben Garcia is the man who runs this shelter here in El Paso, who read the statement on behalf of this father and the young girl's family.
The family of Jacqueline Caal Maquin is still coping with their profound loss. The death of a child is the most painful experience that a parent or family can endure. Jacqueline, just 5 days past her 7th birthday, was a beautiful and loving child. Jacqueline and her father came to the United States seeking something that thousands have been seeking for years: an escape from the dangerous situation in their home country. This was their right under U.S. and international law. But it is a journey that had resulted in tragedy. The family is seeking an objective and thorough investigation and are asking that investigators will assess this incident within nationally recognized standards for the arrest and custody of children. The family intends to assist in such an investigation into the cause and circumstances of Jacqueline's death.
A couple of things that this statement did go on to say. They said that the family had found it unacceptable, in their words, that Border Patrol agents would have the father sign a form stating that the daughter's health condition was fine the moment that they crossed the border, were taken into Border Patrol custody. This father speaks an indigenous Guatemalan language. Spanish is his second language. He does not speak English. That form, we understand, is only in English. So they found that to be unacceptable. And they're also pushing back on the idea that anybody knows what the cause of death in this situation is. There's been a number of reports that allude to what might have led to her death, but the family's pushing back, saying that at this point there is no official cause of death and that no one should speculate about that. Anna?
Oh, as a mother of a 7-year-old myself, it's really difficult to hear this story. Thank you, Ed, for bringing us the latest information.